What's up, people? Thank you for watching my channel. I'm trying to get my channel up. I'm trying to get my subscribers up. Trying to get my comments up. And I'm trying to get my likes up. So thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing, like, comment, and share. If you put a comment, I always look at I have all my comments for review because I prefer to look at them and read them to see if there's anything that will pertain to the channel so that I can answer any questions or respond to comments. This client recently I did a peekaboo blonde in the back of her hair, which you will see that later. She has natural hair. She's been coming to me for a few years. She definitely always come in when she get her hair colored. So as I zoom in on this color, I'm showing you that she has about a level 5 base, which looks like a chocolate brown. And then in the front, she has honey blonde. And then in the back, you're going to see some peekaboo honey blonde, the same color that's in the front. So in the front, she has what we call a signature piece. So I did the color maybe a couple of weeks on her. I advised her to come back in so that I can do another service right after the color. So her scalp is pretty dry. So I usually, before I shampoo any client, and if you see me looking like I'm talking, I'm doing a live at the same time, an Instagram live, and people may be asking me questions on there. So that's why you see me looking like I'm talking to somebody, doing an Instagram live. So, which I do that a lot on my Instagram, which my Instagram is Sugar Salon, SUGAR Salon, Sugar Salon. So I'm a licensed master cosmetologist. Been doing hair over 30 years. Again, doing a live, so just bear with me. So her scalp is extremely dry, a lot of flakiness. And she said that's pretty commonplace with her. She has a lot of scalp issues. And so before I shampoo any client, I always kind of check their scalp. Because if someone has a flaky scalp, if you just go ahead and shampoo it without scratching up the dandruff or the dry scalp, when you shampoo the hair and you have not gotten the flakes up beforehand, then the flakes are just going to be wet when you shampoo them. They're just going to get wet. And then when you dry the hair, you're just going to see all the flakes again. So they're still going to be there. So I always check the scalp. And if I see any flakes, I just get them up. I scratch them up. So you see that peekaboo blonde in the back and then what we call that signature piece in the front. I love it with that level 5 base. It's beautiful in my opinion. Hope you like it too. Again, I'm a licensed master cosmetologist. Been doing this for a long time. So my clients, they never see breakage. When they get color, I've never had a client complain about their hair falling out or breaking when I do color. So I definitely retain my color clients as well. Because some people can color your hair and you can experience a whole lot of breakage. You have to be very particular about, who does your color. Very particular. And just because someone is a licensed stylist does not mean that they're experienced with doing color. You have to find someone who is experienced with color, because if not, you can experience breakage within a week or just a few days. So again, I'm doing a live, so that's why you see me doing a lot of talking. But I just wanted to talk on this video. A lot of my videos, I just add music. I'm going to also do an introduction video to myself, because I started my channel and kind of been rolling with it. So I'm going to make an introduction video, just so you know more about me and my experience and what I do and all of that. So again, she has a level 5 base with that with that signature piece in the front. So a signature piece, basically that's just like a strip of color, usually blonde in the front. She wanted some peekaboo color in the back. She wanted blonde in the back. So the reason that you see the flakes, a lot of flakes. So the reason that we call it peekaboo color in the back is because you really won't see it. It's kind of like you may see somebody's hair and then be like, is that blonde I'm seeing back there? So peekaboo color. So her hair is natural. I'm showing you the front. That's the front where the signature piece is. It looks beautiful. And I made it chunky enough where you see how she can split it on both sides and wear it on both sides if she'd like. Or she could just have it on one side. So I'm just trying to show you that color. That base color is beautiful. And you see, even though she got her hair just done, colored about 2 weeks ago, it doesn't look dry. Because anytime you color your hair a lighter color, you get it colored, it pulls the darker color out, which means it's pulling the melanin out of your hair. It's pulling the darker color out. So when that happens, your hair can tend to be dry. And so I always give my clients a disclaimer, my color clients a disclaimer. And what I tell them is, the health of your hair after this color treatment is going to be on you. Because sometimes people get color in their hair and they won't color, and then they disappear from the salon once they get the color. So I'm always very certain to tell clients up front, when you're getting color, it's almost like you had a Toyota and now you just bought a Mercedes. That's a practical way that I educate my clients. You had a Toyota and now you bought a Mercedes. So both cars are good cars, but the Mercedes is, a little bit pricier for the upkeep. Basically meaning, if you want your hair to remain very healthy and thrive and continue to grow with the color, you need to come in. So for color treated hair, I recommend to my clients steam hydration at least once a month, and then get a deep treatment, like a very deep conditioning treatment, at least about every 2 to 3 months. See her scalp? A lot of flakiness. And she said that's very common. You see those flakes? Now, if I did not scratch her scalp up, if I would just, drape her, put a towel on her and a cape on her, and just took her to the shampoo bowl with all that flakiness, if I did that, those flakes, all they would do is get wet from the water and the shampoo. They would just get wet. That's all going to happen. They're going to get wet. Of course, when I shampoo her hair, some of them are going to come up, from the shampoo, from me shampooing the hair. But when I get her in my chair and her hair is dry, you're going to see flakes again. So I always check people's scalp because some people do have scalp issues and some people do have flaky scalp and dry scalp and all of that. So now I'm taking her to the shampoo bowl and I'm going to shampoo her. Again, I was doing an Instagram live, so I'm trying to get... One thing about me, when I do my Instagram lives, I try to be certain that the clients or that the people, the viewers on my Instagram live, they can actually see everything I'm doing. So I try to make sure that the camera is positioned right and correctly so that they can see. So join me sometime on my Instagram lives. Sometime I'm on there talking about hair. Sometimes I'm just on there vlogging type thing. And sometimes I'm actually on there doing stuff like this, like letting you see, start to finish. So I didn't speed this video up. A lot of my videos are sped up. This one is not. So I think client was asking a question and I'm just trying to answer it for them. So I truly hope that you enjoy my YouTube channel. I'm trying to take it up to the next level. I've been diligent and consistent about the videos. I know on Instagram, when you make live videos, you can actually go back and save them. And so that's what I've been doing as well recently. And so I'm adding them to my YouTube channel too. I do a lot of vlogging on Instagram Live. I'm going to go through some of those and probably add those just depending on what I'm talking about on the vlog. But I'm trying to keep my content very consistent and trying to keep my content out here. And my husband, he watches YouTube a lot. So he's been suggesting to me that I talk more on the videos in place of just always adding music to the videos. So right here, I'm talking to somebody asked a question and I'm trying to explain some things to them. But definitely, you can follow me on Instagram at sugarsalon. You can DM me. You can suggest to me what you would like to see on my YouTube channel. Because basically, when I'm doing YouTube and I'm recording my videos, I'm mainly recording, services that I'm actually performing on clients. So a lot of my clients, they get the knotless box braids as well. But I try to show a variety of services, of videos on my YouTube. I'm going to be putting some tape-in extensions on here soon. I make wigs. I do a variety of things. So you're going to see them all. So right there, you just saw me checking the towel because I don't want the towel in the bowl because then the towel's just going to get wet. So I'm just checking the water temperature, making sure it's not too hot. And when I'm shampooing, I'm very certain to wet the hair real good. And she just had her color maybe 2 weeks prior to this shampoo. So I'm just wetting the hair. And I'm located in North Atlanta, Georgia, the northern suburbs, and Swanee, Georgia. Swanee. It's very close to Duluth and Johns Creek. I'm in Swanee. I'm in a Phoenix salon suite. I had a storefront for 13 years and a team that I managed of commission stylists, but I work alone now. Came out of cosmetology school in 1981. So you can see she has natural hair. My whole thing is when I color hair, like to me, for me, I don't know what other stylists do, but for me, I don't think that you should sacrifice your hair texture just to have color treated hair. Again, I don't think you should sacrifice your hair texture just to have color treated hair. Basically, what I mean by saying that is, and I'm just showing you here the shampoos I'm using, that's Design Essentials. And that's for Flaky Scalp. And this one is Influence. And same thing, it's like for Flaky Scalp as well. So whenever I do color on people, whether it's blonde or whether it's level 5 or 6 or whether it's blonde or red or whatever the color is, I do not want that client's natural hair to look like it's relaxed hair after I color their hair. I do not want that. And I'm showing you that she still has her natural texture, if you see what I mean. Because sometimes people can color your hair and then your hair look like it's relaxed hair. Like they can literally strip out all the texture where it doesn't even look like you have natural hair any longer. So for me, I'm very cognizant of that. Like people went natural because they want to be natural. They went natural because they want their hair to have that texture in it. And that's what I'm explaining to people on the live. So shampooing, and you see how she's kind of leaning back. You know, on my third shampoo, I always give 3 shampoos. On the third shampoo, which it would be the last shampoo, and you'll see that I usually make sure that the client is sitting all the way up. Because when the client is laying back or partially laying back, in my opinion, it's kind of hard to make sure, or challenging rather, to make sure that you are getting every area that you're shampooing and manipulating every area of the scalp. So on my third shampoo, to resolve that, I always make sure that I let the client sit all the way up in an upright position. So this is the first shampoo. I'm doing a very good scrub, trying to address the scalp issues and stuff by the choice of shampoo that I'm using. Sometimes I also use a little scalp scrubber that I use sometimes. I can't recall if I used it on her, but I do use it a lot of times. Because natural hair can be very thick and sometimes it's hard. It's a challenge to get to that scalp like you need to. And, you know, usually client's scalp is kind of itchy. And so I address that too by using that scalp massager that I use at times. So just rinsing out the shampoo and getting ready for my next shampoo on her. And in my opinion, Steam hydration is imperative after you have color treated hair, especially after you have lightened your hair. I'm showing you what shampoo I'm using that's influence. And it's great for flaky, itchy scalp. I'm emulsifying it in my hands and I'm spreading it all throughout. Making sure the viewers on my Instagram live can see really good. So I'm having her sit all the way up. Usually I do that on the third shampoo, but I'm doing it on this second one as well. Because to be honest, when a client is laying back in the bowl, as the hairstylist, your body is contortioned to kind of do what you need to do, which is shampoo the client. And sometimes you may miss a spot, in all honesty. So I'm really big and cognizant of that. I'm really big on sitting the client all the way up, because if I have them sitting all the way up like I have her right now, sitting all the way up, I can know that I have gotten every spot, every nook, every cranny. And natural hair tends to be, that's the little scrubber I'm showing you. So I did use it on her. They sell them in the most Asian beauty supply stores, and they're probably like $1 or $2 or something like that. Very inexpensive. They don't pull the hair out or anything like that. Just an FYI. So they're very good for kind of making sure you get that scalp. And with her having the flakiness in the scalp, I did want to make sure that I was cognizant of her scalp. Yeah, my nails and the palm of my fingers can, massage the scalp. But I definitely wanted to go in there with that as well. Because I don't want to shampoo somebody who has flakiness and dryness. I don't want to shampoo them and then get them back in my chair and they still got tons of flakes and I don't want to do that. So I address it when I drape them. I put the towel on, the cape on. I scratch up, the flakes from the scalp before I even bring them to the shampoo bowl. I mean, that's what a good service is all about. You have to address all the issues that the clients have. Because some people do have dry scalp, flaky scalp. I definitely recommend steam hydration. I recommend, using something with a tea tree oil in it, whether it be shampoo or, you can make your own oil and put a couple of drops of tea tree oil in it. Because tea tree oil is very good for the hair. It has antifungal and antibacterial properties in it. So it will definitely address if someone has flaky scalp. So you seeing me showing my viewers on Instagram Live how I make sure that I rinse the nape of the neck. Like some stylists don't do that as well. Not to throw anybody under the bus, but it's pretty easy to do. You just have to make sure you keep the nozzle on the head. Because if you remove the nozzle or pull it back away from the head, the water is going to go down the client's back. And nobody wants to leave the salon and be all wet up, So it's definitely, excuse me, definitely you need to have experience and know how. This is a Design Essentials sulfate-free shampoo. I like the consistency of that shampoo. I also like the fact that it's sulfate-free. So sulfate-free shampoo is a little bit less harmful to the hair. Like it's not as, so it'll suds up, but it don't usually suds up, as much as other shampoo does, because it doesn't have the sulfates in it. So I believe this is my third shampoo, because the second shampoo was when I was using that scrubber. So I'm getting into that scalp really good. You can see that peekaboo blonde in the back. And I'm recording this video at about 5:30 in the morning, so sorry I keep clearing my throat. It's early in the morning. So I'm getting in that scalp good, because it's not just about manipulating the hair. It's about manipulating the scalp as well when you're doing a shampoo. So I always give 3 shampoos, always. Like I don't know how somebody's hair could be clean with 2 shampoos. That's just me. That's my opinion. Because usually on the first shampoo, you're not really shampooing. I mean, if people have products in their hair, which most natural hair clients do, then, that first shampoo is pretty much just trying to bust through all of that. Trying to break through. So this, you can tell too, you can feel when you're getting the hair clean and how the hair responds and all of that. So my third rinse, or after the third shampoo, I'm always cognizant of the fact that natural hair can almost be like a sponge where it just absorbs everything. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a positive way. And I'm just trying to give a practical, example, practical scenario. So basically what I mean about that is I'm cognizant and aware of the fact that natural hair will hold everything. Like it's going to hold those 3 shampoos that I did on it. It will hold the shampoo in. Like it'll soak it in. So by that I mean that I have to make sure that I get all of that shampoo out. I don't want to shampoo a client and then get them back to my chair and then I start to section off the hair or get ready to blow dry it or whatever I'm going to do. And then I'm seeing all these suds. So I'm actually giving her 4 shampoos, probably because of the severe flakiness in the scalp. So this shampoo, that's a sulfate-free shampoo. Again, it's going to be a brief shampoo. It's not going to be a long shampoo scrub. Because I've already shampooed it 3 times, so this is the 4th time. Sometime I will shampoo people's hair 4 times because some people's hair hold odors, and where it will have odors, and I can shampoo it 3 times and still kind of smell the odor, So in those cases, I will definitely shampoo a client a 3rd time, a 4th time rather, if I smell odors. So continuing to scrub her scalp. Just trying to pretty much guarantee that I get all that flakiness out. Because she did have a lot of flakes, so I want to make sure I get that out. And I asked her, does she have problems with dryness and flakiness a lot? And she said, yeah. So the way to resolve that, is what I mentioned before, like tea tree oil, hot oil treatments, steam hydration. I offer all of that at my salon. I offer all of that right here where you see me working in Swanee. So laying her back and getting ready for that final rinse. Still scrubbing. I'm sure that feels very good on her scalp. Like I wear a wig, so what you see me with, that's a wig I have on. My own hair is very long, but I have natural hair too, so I understand how, the scalp tends to be pretty itchy. So when you get a shampoo, you don't want that fluff stuff, meaning you don't want a light shampoo. You want a very good shampoo that addresses the scalp and that addresses the itchiness and just the fact of having natural hair and your scalp. Usually our scalp feels a lot better when we're getting a good shampoo. So this will be my last and final rinse. So I shampooed her hair 4 times because of the scalp flakiness that you saw. Just continuing to rinse, rinse, rinse. So one thing about when I'm rinsing out, especially natural hair, I'm making sure that I get every nook and cranny as I possibly can. Because again, shampoo can be hiding in between the hair. So I try to manipulate the hair a lot when I'm rinsing. And I try to make sure I open the hair up, to get in between. Like I'm opening it up now. You see me moving the hair around. The reason I'm doing that, I'm trying to get the water in there like I'm doing now, opening the hair up. Rinsing that nape area off really good. And kind of talking to the viewers about how I do that. As long as you hold that nozzle on that head, you won't wet the client up. So I'm opening the hair up. See, I'm opening it up. That's what I call opening the hair up when I kind of do that. Move it around to make sure that water is reaching in there where it needs to, so that I can make sure that there's no suds, bubbles, whatever you prefer to call them. See how I'm opening that hair up? I do that when I'm rinsing. I'm addressing the nape of that neck again, and I don't see any soap back there, any bubbles, any product, but I'm going to rinse thoroughly. I fold that ear down so that water won't get in that ear. That's the worst. So I'm continuing to open that hair up. Separate it. I'm separating the hair, opening it up so that that water can get in there. I'm going behind that other ear over there on the right side. I'm talking to my Instagram Live viewers. And again, I do my Instagram Lives on Sugar Salon on Instagram. Sugar Salon. So once I finish with my rinse, or I feel that I'm finished rinsing and I feel like I've gotten everything out, I usually check the client's hair, dry them off because I don't want to sit them up and then all this water runs down their face and down their back and all of that. So I'm showing that big luxurious towel that I have. So I take the towel around the back because water can run down their back too. And natural hair tends to hold water. So I don't want to sit the client up and then tons of water run down their face and down their back. And then I wet them all up. And I'm sitting here trying to struggle to dry them off. So I'm educating on my live like I always do. And I always try to make sure that the client has a good view of what's going on as well. So I'm adjusting. So you see I raise the camera up higher. So like I was saying, I always check the client's hair before I put them back in my chair. Because I don't want to put them back in my stylist chair and then see suds or bubbles or whatever, residue. I don't want to do that because then I have to take the client right back to the shampoo bowl. So I check at the chair. That way, if I see anything, I can simply just lay their head back because they're already still at the bowl. So I do all that at the bowl. So I'm just checking her hair to make sure there's no residue left of shampoo. Nothing left. And if it is something left, if you do, see residue left, like I said, you just simply lay them back. You lay the client's head back in the bowl. It's real simple. So now I got her back in my stylist chair. She's back in the chair. I didn't see any residue or any shampoo left. And I'm keeping this in real time. Usually I speed my videos up. But this one I just wanted to keep it like this and that I could talk over it myself and explain to you what I'm doing. Now I do have another video of her on here and it's called Flex Rods. But this video right here is more thorough. And it's not sped up and I'm doing a voiceover explaining to you what's going on. So I'm setting up the steamer over there. and still talking to my Instagram live viewers. And she looked like she sleep. She just had a good scalp scratch. I scratched her scalp, detangled her hair, shampooed her hair 4 times. So and you see all that texture. You see she still has all her texture in her hair. She got her whole head colored, and she still has texture in her hair. She still looks like a naturalista. And I colored that base, and I colored the front signature piece, and I colored that blonde back peekaboo blonde. So she has a lot of color, her whole head of color, but she still has texture. And you see she about to fall asleep, so. I try to drink a lot of water. I usually tell my viewers or suggest or recommend to them that they drink a lot of water as well. So I'm right up in her sleepy face. Because after all that pampering, I will be asleep too. So I'm talking to my live. You guys can't hear it. I'm doing this voiceover, so I'm about to get into her hair. And she looks like she's asleep, which that's good. Because when you come to a salon, to be honest, you're paying your money, you're having some me time, and you're being pampered as you deserve to be. You want to relax. You don't want to come hear a whole lot of noise or, a lot of nothing, really. And, when you come in and get pampered and have some me time, you deserve that. You deserve that me time. And like I always tell my clients, my viewers, my listeners, my fans, my supporters, like God gave us one head of hair. God gave us only one head of hair. Only one head. That's all we get. One head of hair. And I tell people we only get one set of teeth. God only gave us one set of teeth. So with the hair, so you saw me use a little serum, putting a little oil in her hair. I'm going through the hair to make sure it's not tangled up anywhere. I'm massaging that serum and that oil to her scalp. She's asleep. But we only get one head of hair that God gave us, one head. So you want to make sure that you're particular and that you vet, us hairstylists and make sure that we have the professionalism, the experience, the integrity, the know-how. Don't just ever assume anything with us hairstylists. Never assume. Like my old pastor said, assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. Assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. Because when we assume, we don't really actually know. When we assume anything, we really don't know. So don't assume that all of us stylists have the same criteria, the same integrity, the same respect, the same business acumen, the same honesty. See, that scalp is so clean. No more flakes. The same know-how, the same experience, the same knowledge, the same respect for you. Like, we're all different. We're all different. We're all different. Some people are very passionate about what they do. Some people are not. You know, there's a plethora of people in the hair industry. So you have to be particular. And then if you've had some very bad experiences with some stylists, don't go to every stylist and just assume that every experience is bad. It's going to be bad. Like I've had clients come to me and they've had bad experiences with other stylists, and they just assume that the experience with me is going to be bad. And so they treat me from the jump like they don't respect me, like they feel like, that I'm going to do something, wrong or something like what somebody else did to them. They come in that way, and that's not fair to me, and that's not going to make a good experience. You're pretty much self-sabotaging yourself if you believe that. It just honestly starts with vetting or researching people. You have to research people because there's all different levels of hairstylists out here. I'm trying to fix my wig. There's all different educational levels of hairstylists out here. There's different personalities out here, different levels of professionalism out here, different levels of integrity out here, different levels of know-how out here, different levels of respect. I mean, everybody's different. So when somebody has had a lot of bad experiences with hairstylists, please don't think that every hairstylist is like that, because everybody is not. Like, there's stylists out here, such as myself, who respects my clients. I respect their time. Like, if I have a client at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to arrive about 9:15 at the latest. So an hour or an hour and 15 minutes prior to their appointment time. I'm very structured. I'm very type A. I'm very passionate about what I do. So you guys saw me put that oil on her scalp, right? Very light oil. And now you see me putting her under steamer. So she's getting pampered today. So if you've never heard of steam hydration, or you've never had steam hydration, it's everything for the hair. Everything. I mean, some stylists may not offer it. I don't know what all people offer, but I do know what I offer. So I do offer it. I've offered it for many years. And you can have natural hair, and your hair can be so dry, and you're out here buying every product known to man that says it's for natural hair, and your hair is still dry, then steam hydration will be everything for your hair. Everything. And it'll help get rid of flaky scalp, like her scalp. You saw how flaky it was? It's steam hydration to resolve all of that. If she comes in on a consistent basis and get it maybe like once a month, once every 2 months. Usually with the steam hydration, I take a cotton strip that you see me having that I had in my hand. I put it ear to ear. Basically what that does, because when you're under the steamer, that condensation from the moisture, it'll just start running down your face. And so I put that cotton there ear to ear so that it can absorb. So I'm still answering questions on my live, trying to educate clients. So I'm putting her under the steamer. So a lot of people think the steamer is a hair dryer. It is not a hair dryer. It's not. So sometimes if people are not familiar with it, I will put them under there and they'll say, it's not on. It's not on. I'm like, it's a steamer. So it has the bowl. And I'm showing you in the front, you see the hose. So the steamer can be, when you close the hose, instead of keeping the hose open, if you close them like that, like I just showed you, if you open them like that, if you close them, then it's going to make more steam and it'll be a little bit hotter. If you open them, then it'll be less steam. So I want her hair to really steam really good because she just got that color a couple of weeks prior. And she also has the scalp, flaky scalp going on. So I want her to pretty much get a good steam. She's already asleep, as you can see. So you saw that I left the hose just a little bit open because I don't want her to get too hot under there. So what happens is the water starts boiling inside the steamer, and then it'll steam. Once that water heats up, then it's gonna start steaming. So it will open the cuticle layer of the hair, and it will allow whatever product I put on there to get inside the hair cuticle layer. And so you hear some stylists, or sometimes you may have heard of, low porosity hair. Low porosity, 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 porosity. So basically, all porosity means is how porous your hair is, porous. So some people have very low porosity hair, and the way that you can tell is because when you wet their hair, or you spray water on their hair, or you can spray water on your own hair, and you just get a spray bottle and you just spray. It don't even have to be water. It can be any kind of product, like a wet product that's liquid. If you spray that on your hair and you see that you just see beads of the product or the water, beads of the liquid just sitting on your hair, like beaded up, looking like raindrops sitting on your hair. If you see that and your hair is not absorbing it, it's not soaking into your actual hair, then you have low porosity. Low porosity. So porosity is your hair's ability to soak up moisture, just like a sponge. You would not, have a sponge and then you pour some, you spill something on your cabinet or your countertop, and you take the sponge and you wipe the sponge, you wipe the liquid up with the sponge, and then the sponge not soak it up. That's not going to happen. The sponge is going to soak up the liquid. The sponge is going to soak up the liquid because the sponge is very porous. The sponge has high porosity, good porosity. So the sponge has a good ability to soak up moisture, right? But some people's hair has a low porosity level, meaning that you can wet their hair or you can spray liquid product on their hair and it'll just sit there like their hair won't even soak it up. So that means that you have low porosity. And you will also know that too, like for some people that hair has gray hair and they'll say that they have stubborn gray. That just means that their hair, they have low porosity. Like you can put a black color rinse on their hair trying to cover up the gray, and you can put them under the dryer about 10 or 15 minutes like you would for most clients, and you can take them out and their hair will still be gray. Still be gray. That just simply means that their hair is not, it has low porosity. It's low porosity level, simply meaning that their hair does not soak up what you put on it. It don't soak it up good. So that's the difference, and that's the explanation of high porosity, medium porosity, low porosity. It's just your hair's ability to soak up whatever you put on it, whatever is put on it. Like my hair is very porous, so if I try to put any kind of color in my hair or color rinse or anything like that, it soaks it up very quickly. So that's the difference between the porous hair and non-porous or low porosity. And that steam hydration, that'll help with that too, because the moist heat from the steamer, it opens up your hair cuticle layer. Like heat usually opens up the cuticle layer and allow whatever you put on the hair to be absorbed in. That's why, a lot of times, people stylists may put a deep treatment on your hair and put a plastic cap on and put you under the dryer, because that heat from the dryer will open up your hair cuticle layer and allow the product to get in. But moist heat is better than the dry heat, especially with natural hair. So the moist heat, which you can get the moist heat from the steam hydration. So now I'm just using some mousse. I'm always pretty generous with the mousse, as you can see. Combing it through, and you see how soft her hair is. It's very soft. Even though she has color treated hair, it's very soft because I've shampooed her hair really well. I've hydrated her hair really well. I put her on the steamer with the product, in her hair to add more moisture. And now she getting a healthy style, a protective style. She wanted the big flexi rods, because some people, when they get the flexi rod set, some people, they don't want the small curls, the small spirals. They want the big loose ones. Now they're both beautiful to me, but no matter what size you get, like to me, the flexi rod set is just a beautiful style, in my opinion. But just an FYI, if you want them to last long, then I would suggest the smaller ones, because these big ones, the curls are very loose. So we all know that looser curls are not going to last as long as a tighter curl. So the tighter ones, if you get the smaller flexi rods, yeah, it's going to look really tight when you first get them, but they will loosen up and drop, So you see how easy and how manageable her hair is? Like, no problem. And I'm always very generous with the mousse. The mousse I use is a professional brand. It does not leave flakiness. It does not make your hair hard and dry, at all. If it did, I wouldn't be using it. And if it did, I would not be using that much on it. Because when a client comes in and they pay you money for this, that, or the third, they want the service to last. Like, I'm really big on the longevity of my clients' hair too, because I know people come in, they pay their hard-earned money to get a service from me. They don't want a service that's just going to last 3 days. Like, who wants to go through all this, sit under the dryer an hour, hour and a half, or however long, and then your style only lasts like 2-3 days? Like, nobody wants to do that at all. So I'm very cognizant of that. So I always make sure that I use professional products and that the products that I use are great for the hair type that I'm working on. And I'm also very cognizant of the fact that once a client come in and pay me, not that any client has told me this, but I'm an experienced hairstylist, so I know this. Like, I'm thinking about what the client wants. I'm not thinking about what I want. I'm thinking about if I was a client and I was sitting in my chair, what would I want? I would not want to go through all of this right here with my natural hair, with all this hair. I would not want to go through all of this and then my hair only lasts 2-3 days. No. So I don't get complaints from my clients about any, whether it's braids or natural hairstyles or twist outs or whatever it is, flat twist outs, sew-ins. I do a variety of stuff. My clients who get color, they don't have any breakage. My clients who have braids, I don't get complaints with those. I mean, you just have to know the aftercare, like with twists, like the passion twist, the individual passion twist, and any kind of twist. That's just a 2-strand twist, so you definitely want to take great care with those. Those are not styles that you maneuver around a lot because it's just one strand wrapped around another strand with hair added. So these flexi rods, you always you want to educate yourself on any given style before you even book it. And then if you're not sure, just ask questions. I'm really big on answering questions for my clients. And then I'm really big on trying to tell them about the aftercare, how you got to wear a satin cap. It's certain things that you have to do once you walk out of the salon. It's certain things that you have to do to maintain whatever service you got as well. And I try to educate my clients as much as I can. But the client also needs to educate themselves as well on the service that they're getting. How do they maintain it? What do they do at home? Because I'm going to give as much information as I can as well. But the client needs to make sure that once they get home, they do everything they can to maintain what they just came in and paid for. Because, for example, she's getting a flexi rod set right now. You see, I'm putting a lot of love, a lot of care,